Welcome to the show.
This guy got a mistletoe belt on.
Gosh, that is bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days. It's a joke, you idiot. Looked in the mirror, I'm like,
Good old innocent fun.
I mean, she's attractive too. To be honest,
I don't care if it's AI, dude.
What looks like a 90-year-old woman, she's hot. All right.
So,
welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Troublemakers, the podcast where each week me and Dom come on and tell crazy stories about our lives. Now, I know you guys are all sweating, thinking last week was a pre-recorded ep and Dom has moved out of the country. That is not the case. No, Dom, we recorded last week, like literally the day before. But filling in today, we have a guest, and then I'll get into why. Returning guest to the pod, and my good buddy, Mr. Brandon Trusso.
oh,
Welcome back to the pod, baby.
what is this time? Number 6, 7?
I stopped.
6, 7.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No,
Kill
dude.
me.
I hope that ends very fast.
I stopped keeping track of guests when I'll probably go back and look.
I think it is.
The most frequented guest was Dom, and he was up to I think 11 or 12.
Wow. Okay.
Before he made
because that's right.
the
you did with
full-time
Ray
transition to co-host.
co-host.
But yeah, so in case anyone's wondering, Dom was he was on the road this weekend. I think he's in Florida or something. I don't even know where.
He's on a cruise, right?
Yeah, but I think he was doing a cruise, but then he was like...
Because, listen, I mean, that's the
I
thing.
can never know. Dom's just like, I'm on a cruise, I'm working.
When comics are like, I'm on the road, you're like, oh, they're doing shows on the road. If you're on a cruise, don't you want to be like, I'm on the water? Sounds way cool.
I'm on the water does sound cooler.
Water. Yeah.
But anyway, for those who don't know, we are expecting, which came out of nowhere, a blizzard hitting New York. So we're recording this on Saturday.
Came out of nowhere to the point where it literally ruined my morning.
Yeah.
First thing, eye-opening, boom. Ruined the whole...
You want to get into why?
I'll tell you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was visiting from
Whoa!
From out of town.
Throwing the big term on it. Okay.
That's not that big of a deal.
Publicly. I mean, you've said it to me, but,
Whatever, dude. I don't give a shit. That's
putting the girlfriend term out there.
It's not like she's a tranny.
No, forever bachelor, Brandon Trusso, has a girlfriend. I love to hear it.
She was visiting she lives in another country. She was visiting, and she was supposed to leave Sunday, but the first thing we woke up to this morning, I didn't even know. Did you know?
No, I had no idea.
no clue. We woke up to your flight is most likely going to be delayed because of a blizzard. And we're like, what? What are you talking about?
Where did that come from?
It came from an airline. And then we went to look at the weather, and I'm like, what? And I didn't even see anything. You know, on the iPhone weather app, the LiPhone weather app, you go and you check and see, and there was nothing fucking... It didn't say anything, and then on the bottom it said blizzard warning, and then you clicked on that, and it was life-threatening, urgent matter. I'm like, what the fuck? So she had to go book another flight because her flight or her airline wouldn't cancel her flight because they said we can't do anything until they officially cancel. So she had to go spend $350 to go home today.
That's so annoying. That's literally what happened. We talked about it, but that's what happened when I was in Fort Lauderdale with my buddies.
That's right. That happened.
Literally, we woke up. We knew that there was a storm, and we were just kind of pushing it. Because also, I don't think we've gotten a storm in the last 10 years, maybe in New York City.
This is the first time.
Maybe 6-7 years.
6, 7. This is the first time the first time there's a blizzard warning in 8 years in New York City.
Yeah. So we expected we'll go down to Fort Lauderdale, and they're saying, oh, it's going to be a foot. It's probably going to be 3 inches, and it's not going to be a problem. It ended up being a problem, and they did the same thing. They canceled all the flights.
Yeah, I was gone.
I was stuck there 3 extra days.
I was back home visiting in my hometown when that happened, and I was like, I'm going to wait it out. And then I came back 2 days after that storm.
Yeah.
Shit show here.
Yeah. So if you are stuck in a nice tropical warm weather paradise, just stay. That's what I did. I stayed for a couple extra days. So long story short, that is why Dom's not here, because we were going to record on Monday, but thinking he's probably going to get delayed with the flight. So for you guys, for all our listeners, we said, no, Wednesday is the Troublemakers Day. So for all the troublemakers out there, we said, hey, let's get a little guest host on.
I was available.
He's available.
Wasn't going to be available, but I'm available.
Now you're available. And so thanks for coming on, dude. I appreciate it.
Because I canceled my spots. I canceled my spots tonight.
For your lady.
For my lady.
What were you guys going to do today? The day. Why did I say that so weird?
What were we going to do
What were you going to do today?
We were going to go to the spa.
Oh, which one? The
other ship.
The Russian spa,
no, that's too weird.
Like
for
the
me.
baths, the bathhouse.
Similar idea. Did you ever hear the other ship? I'm giving them free advertisement.
No,
right now.
please.
So it's basically like a bougie bathhouse, but they do like cold plunge sauna.
Nice.
I actually did a comedy show in there one time. Andrew Packer runs a show out of there.
Yeah,
very funny comedian. By the way.
Saw. Is he? He's the one who runs it.
He's from Vancouver.
Yeah. He's super
me and him
funny.
we go way
Man
back.
News. Man News.
Yeah, Man News.
Which is so funny because, dude, random aside about that, I met him at the comedy shop maybe a year and a half ago. The now
I hope you bleep that out.
The now disgraced allegedly comedy shop.
The Epstein files.
But I was there a year and a half ago maybe, and with a buddy that was in town. We just stopped in for a drink, and then Che came in.
And
he was like, "Hey, this is my buddy Andrew," and we were hanging out. We're talking. We talked for 45 minutes. They're hanging out there, and then he leaves, and then we follow each other on Instagram, and I see he's got all the Man News stuff, and I'll go, dude, I've been watching this guy for months before that, and I messaged him. I was like, dude, this is so fun. I love the content. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Andrew, I love how we're giving him free press. I got to text him about
this.
So
dude, always, man.
So Andrew and I met. So I met Che, JJ, and this kid Amish Patel that were all from Toronto. Andrew lived in Toronto before, this is back when I lived in Buffalo.
Was it years ago? 10 years ago, probably?
Bro, yeah, 10, 12 years ago. So Helium, the general manager there, used to ask me if the comics that we're featuring could, stay at my place because I was super close to downtown and, me, our apartments are neat. So they wanted to have them stay there. So Andrew stayed with me. Che stayed with me. I never let JJ stay with me because I was afraid he'd afraid he was going to bust through my bedroom door and fuck me. So I didn't allow that to happen.
I love JJ
I
so
do
much.
Too. He's my favorite. But Che stayed with me and Andrew stayed with me.
I do have an extra room for my meat milker.
I can't remember who we were opening for, but they were. That's how I met Andrew. But then, did you ever know the story? What happened with Andrew? During COVID, he was on vacation, and I'm probably going to get the country wrong. So I want to say Venezuela, but I could
Saudi Arabia.
No, okay. Gaza Strip. No, he was in. I'll say some tropical country, and he got stuck there for 6 months.
Whoa, I did not know that.
Couldn't leave the country because of COVID.
That's crazy.
Him and his now wife. They were there for 6 to 8 months, and he literally started a comedy scene there.
Whoa! So I love that, actually. That's hilarious.
I think, if I'm not wrong, that's where Man News was created, and that's where he started doing it. And then when he came to New York, he hit me up, and JJ's like, oh, Brandon's in New York, and he messaged me, and he's like, oh, I'd love to start doing spots at the Pair. And I was like, yeah, dude, come. I run the Friday and Saturdays, come on down. And that he got involved there. And then he asked me to do... Here comes the whip around. He asked me to do he runs the sauna comedy show.
Yeah.
And dude, when he asked me to do it, I was like, I don't know, dude, that sounds kind of weird. He's like, bro, it's fun. Trust me. And I went and I was immediately hooked with just the experience.
Yeah.
So you go in.
Yeah.
You go in there. And as soon as you walk in, you're like, okay, I think this is going to be cool. They give you 2 towels. They tell you need both.
Are you performing in the nude?
No.
You're shirtless? Did you go shirtless?
No one's nude.
You wear a towel.
You wear a bathing suit or a towel.
That's tough, dude. To be honest, I wonder how my jokes, especially the ones that I talk about being fat, they would probably hit harder if I'm just shirtless in a bathing suit.
Nah, dude, you could wear a robe if you wanted to.
I mean, a robe is kind of
is dope,
dude.
bro.
That's kind of a badass move.
You can bring
chains out, dude, with a robe
and a cigar. You can't bring a cigar, but hold a cigar.
Oh, dude, I wear a kimono, a silk robe. I bring my own. Yeah. I have one sitting there. I wore it once on the pod. People are like, "Are you okay?"
If you book a session for other ship for yourself, it's $70, right? So anyways, you get the whole experience as the comic performing on there, but then you just perform. So how other ship works is you go in, you meet in this little communal, they call it the tea room, and it's beautiful. It's all like dim and lit, and there's like huge, there's like bleachers, almost wooden bleachers. It smells amazing in there. They give you tea.
Eucalyptus?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
and you
dude.
sit there
Oh,
and
yeah.
you talk to people, and then what they do is they say, okay, it's a class. The comedy show doesn't have the class, but if you book a session, you can book different kinds of classes. So you go into the sauna, right? Everybody sits. They start the show, right? And then you do 3 comics. Then they leave the sauna. They go into the cold plunge. You can do between 10 seconds to 2 minutes in the cold plunge. Then you come out and you take a essential oil shower.
Come on.
Now, I can't even explain how amazing the essential oil shower
It just
is.
feels wonderful.
Then you go back into the sauna. The next 3 comics go. Then you go back into the cold plunge, and then you finish with an essential. Bro, I left there.
This is brilliant.
I felt like I came 10 times.
Dude, that is brilliant.
Dude, it was
I gotta
amazing.
get booked on this show.
So
dude. That
took-
sounds electric.
I'll talk to Andrew for you.
That's unbelievable.
I talked to my girl. All right, my girl and I went like maybe 4 months ago when she was here, and then we were gonna go this weekend, but thanks.
All fell apart. But we
Yeah.
did have a nice little romantic dinner last night.
We
met
did.
the girlfriend, me, you.
Yeah.
Can I say her name?
Yeah,
Your girlfriend?
Not Monte Teo.
Well,
You
I
can
don't
say her
know.
name.
I did. I was shocked, dude. I thought it was going to be an internet girlfriend for years and years, and
Yeah.
our good buddy Ray Zawadny,
Yeah.
the big dog,
Everybody
baby.
met the girlfriend.
We had a nice little dinner.
She loved you guys. Obviously, thought you guys were great.
Hell yeah, yeah. She's fantastic. She's awesome.
Yeah,
it was it was also nice that Ray came, because I thought I was just going to be third wheeling it, but
I wouldn't do that to you.
Ray came, and it was a nice little romantic evening. 2 couples just enjoying the night.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice fun. But like I said, get fucked by the weather.
Yeah, that's tough, dude. Did you guys end up watching Weapons last night?
No, dude. So
Was it our fault?
No, it wasn't your fault.
Okay.
You know whose fault it was? The fucking weather. Because when we got back home, I was like, do you want to watch? She's like, I'm so beat. Let's just, like, I have HBO in the living room.
Yeah.
Right. And in the bedroom, I have like Netflix and whatever. And she's like, I just don't feel like laying on the couch right now. Let's just go to bed. And I was like, okay. So we watched Caught Stealing.
Oh, that was good.
It was
I liked it.
fine.
I liked it with
I'm not even
Austin
kidding.
Butler and
During the middle of the
Zoe
movie,
Kravitz.
During the middle of the movie, I turned to her and I said, I bet you Dylan fucking loved this movie. And
I did.
She only met you one time, and she goes, "Yeah, this seems like a movie he would like."
I enjoyed it. I did. I liked it a lot. I
knew
yeah.
it.
I went and saw that by
alright.
myself in the
alright.
theaters.
It
That was a
alright.
good one.
I didn't dislike it. It was a fine movie. You
I
remember
think I
those-
gave it a. For those who don't know, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the pod, but yeah, Trusso and I have the Regal Unlimited Pass. This is who I go to most of the movies with, either by myself or with Trusso.
Yeah.
Who Olivia definitely thought we were fucking, because every time she hits you up, you're like, I'm going to the movies with Dylan.
And this is before
I see like 4.
before she met you. She's like, "Who's this fucking guy?"
We probably see like 6 movies a month.
yeah.
Because anybody who doesn't have it needs to get it. It's $26 a month. If you live near an AMC or a Regal, $25 to $26, and you get unlimited movies. I mean, you see things. That's the best part. Is like, we watch Strangers Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. I would never pay $15 to go and see that movie, but if it's free, I'll go do it. Why not? And it was a horrible movie. Fun time. Real fun time at the movies.
I mean, it's an experience.
I've only almost walked out of one movie since I've had that pass.
Which
and
one
it
was
was Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
I never saw.
It was
Five Nights at
horrific,
Freddy's
dude.
1.
And granted, I know it was a game or a graphic novel or something, so there's a lot of history, but people are cheering at points, and I was like, I finally realized, I was like, oh, I'm not in the
You're
fandom.
not part of the
This
club.
is I guess there's a fandom around it, because I thought it was just like Chuck E. Cheese turned into a horror thing.
I never heard of it. I never heard of the first ever.
The first one was like fine. It was like bad, but
but
fine.
fun.
It was fun. The second one, they're like going into lore, and I was like, it almost made me think when I saw the second one, I was like, it felt like I missed a second movie.
Let me
It felt
ask
like
you
that
this.
was the first and this was the third, and I missed a whole movie in the middle.
When you watched the second, when you were deciding, like, I'm going to go, I think I'm going to leave, this movie stinks. Because I don't think I've ever left a movie in my life. I
haven't.
I'd have to really think to think.
Actually, I haven't. I'll tell that after, but go.
When you were about to leave and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to stay and watch it. When that movie ended, were you like, all right, I'm glad I stayed? Or were you like, fucking shoot me in the head?
No, I was fine. I was fine with staying. The reason I was going to leave, I was like, this stinks. It's like so boring. I was like on my phone. You know, I was literally, I never do that. I never take my phone out in the theater, but I literally, it's just like, it was like teenagers and me in the theater. And I'm like looking at Instagram. I'm like, I'm not even watching.
There's
this.
like
It's
a
so
10-year-old
bad.
birthday party.
Yeah, it was.
Did you ever
Dude,
do a
there was
birthday-
like kids, man.
Did you ever do a birthday party at the movies? When
No,
you were
I
young?
would love to though.
When
That
I
would be
was
such a dream.
one of my birthday parties, we went to the movies with like me. I can't believe
You
they allowed
picked
us.
the movie.
There was 13 of us that went because it was my 13th
Yeah.
birthday.
Oh, that's
We
hilarious.
saw The Good Son.
With
My
Macaulay
one,
Culkin and
Yeah.
what's his name? Not Shia LaBeouf.
I don't know.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah. My one friend Tim Zimbiak threw a whole thing of popcorn at like up 5 rows ahead of us and just landed all over to the point where we're 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right? 13's pretty young. To the point where the guy stood up and turned around and goes, "I'll kill every fucking one of you." And we were like, "Oh my God."
Dude, that's how I know. That's how I've realized though that I'm getting old because I got no patience for fucking kids in the movie theater making noise.
So when you're a kid and you hear something like that, you're like, we have to call the police on this guy.
Dude,
But when you're our age,
Yeah.
and we've been to the movies where people have been pissing us off.
dude, you've sat next to me as
Yeah.
I've been like, "Hey, shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
And then we turn around. Do you remember that? We
If a
turn
kid-
around and it's literally like 5 like 7-year-old kids and their parents.
If a kid threw something at me at the movies, I would fucking kill somebody. I would do the same thing that guy did to us. Because
Yeah.
I think the problem is in like when you're younger, you're so entitled and like, especially because you're, the way you grew up or whatever, if your parents are always around and they take care of you and help you out with things. These kids today, you see how entitled they are. And I feel like you're doing the Lord's work if you instill the fear.
You know what it is? Kids are just you ever go to a bar, and I'm sure you knew guys like this, but like the small guy in the group.
Oh, yeah.
And then he has all the big friends. Like every friend of his is over like 6'3", and they're all like former D1 football players.
And he starts all
and
the
he's
fights.
like 5'3", and he gets
Yep.
wasted because he's so
Yep.
tiny. And then he just starts picking fights with people.
Yeah. Like, what's he going to do? Punch him in the fucking knee?
Yeah, he just picks fights. That's what kids are when there are parents around.
Dude, and
because they
they're
can do whatever they
such-
want, and they know that no adult is going to ever physically come after a kid.
I want to get so angry at these kids, but I know we were fuckers. I remember one time when I first moved back to Buffalo. Grew up in Albany when I was younger. When we first moved back to Buffalo, we lived at my grandmother's house for a year, and we would do like snowball fights and shit. And she lived on like a corner street. And I remember one time this Corvette was coming down. There was a stop sign at the end, and then the cross street that the car would turn on. And we were like hiding behind garbage cans. And this guy's at the stop sign, and we're like back here, right? And he stops, and you could hear he's like playing his music, like whatever. And we all stood up, like one kid from that direction, and we just all chucked snowballs. He had his windows open because it was maybe like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And one went right through his window and hit him in the side of the head. What a shot, by the way, by this kid, Paul. This guy turned, it was like as the car was turning, he hit him. He screeched the tires and stopped, got out and chased us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, dude.
As a kid, you're like, holy shit, this guy needs to be arrested. A parent's like, what are you doing chasing my kids? And then like
No,
now
that's
I'm
fair.
like, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, even if you're not going to catch him, you scare the shit out of him.
Scaring the shit out of him.
Yeah, it's important.
It's fair.
When we would throw things at cars, I would expect you kind of want the chase to happen.
Yeah,
because
kind
it's
of.
exciting.
Yeah, you're right. And
The
then
exciting part
until
of
you
someone
see
getting
the guy,
mad.
until you see the guy get out, and you're like, this is a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
Especially
And there's
if they're-
also a difference, like doing that in Queens, scary. Doing that in the suburbs of Buffalo or Long Island,
True.
It's going to be some like suburban dad who's like, I'll kill you, but he's not going to do it. He's not going to even catch
Okay,
you.
Tubby.
He's going to have a heart attack in the middle of the street running you down.
Yeah, because kids are pretty fast.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole throwing things at cars kind of stopped. I don't know if it's happening as much anymore. The fact that kids are on their phones, they don't go outside as much, but like
know.
I don't know if it's happening in a fun way. At least like when I was in high school, these kids got arrested for throwing a watermelon at a car. Do you remember this? They threw a watermelon over the overpass. I think it was on Long
very
Island.
Very racist right here.
And it literally went through this woman's like windshield on the highway, killed her.
What?
And like all the kids like went
never
to
heard about
jail.
That. Wow.
That also could be like a wives' tale, but I specifically remember this happening. And
I'm like, that sounds racist. And you're like, that's an old wives' tale.
No, I remember it was like you can't throw things at cars anymore.
Dude, the other day, you know what it is? I was walking to the grocery store, right? And I'm walking by myself. You know what I mean? Like you walk by yourself, so you don't think anything of it. I'm on the opposite side of the street, and there's literally like, this might have been like a Tuesday. They're all out of school.
Yeah.
So they get out of school around 2:30. They all pack the street. This was on like 31st Street in Ditmars.
Yeah.
I'm walking past Create right there. Right on the other side of the street, there's literally like kids on bikes, like 13, 14 of them just sitting there. And they're like chirping each other back and forth. And this one woman's walking by, and you could tell she was on her phone. She was like talking, and she like keeps walking by him. And this one kid, they start like catcalling her, right? And I'm watching. I'm like, this poor broad, like, oh my God. Like you could tell she was uncomfortable, and she's walking by him. And then the one kid's like, show me your tits. And I,
it's so bad.
dude, I laughed in my head, but I was like, that is so funny. But like, imagine how scary that would be as a, like,
yeah.
if I'm that
How
woman,
old were the kids?
they had to be like 14,
Yeah.
no older than 13.
Like 13-year-old. Those are the scariest kids. They got no
fear.
They're literally just hopped up on testosterone for the first time in their lives.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't know what to do with it, and
Nope.
they're just fucking around with you, and they have no rules.
You know how cool it would have been?
There are literally no punishments.
You know how cool it would have been if she did it?
It's just they're like,
that kid would be like, oh my God. They'll just come.
She gets arrested, dude. Dude, you know what? You saying that, I was just thinking about, we talk about on the pod a lot how like I kind of was a pussy growing up. Like I was always the kid.
I was the instigator.
I was like always the one in the group being like, this is fun, but I'm terrified of getting in trouble. And now I'm thinking about it as like why I was so scared of getting in trouble so many times. I think because there was a lot of things that happened in my formative years that were like worst case scenario. Like, dude, the watermelon thing through the, like that literally someone died.
That's crazy.
The hazing thing, the year I went into high school, the year before high school was Long Island.
Initiation.
Well, do you remember there was a Long Island story? I'm sure it made national news, but it would like put hazing at the forefront.
Was it the kids that drank?
In this football high school, it was a public school on Long Island.
Did they ham the kid?
Dude, they literally like fucking stuck broomsticks and pine cones up their behinds.
Dude.
That was a massive story on Long
crazy.
Island. I forget the high school. Someone who's listening, if you're from Long Island, like I'm sure you know, but it was a crazy fucking. And then I went to high school the next year and played football, and they were like,
"That's what
nobody can like. If anybody sniffs, like even giving someone a weird nickname, you're gonna be thrown out of school and off the team."
Dude, we were just talking about this stuff that happened at our high school, like initiation stuff. And I was on the football team too, like at JV and then varsity. Like we all wanted to play varsity younger, like so we were able to kind of like, skip the line to go play varsity. And I remember this one kid, he was a sophomore, and I won't say his name, but he had this little this is when he was a junior because he first got a car. He had a little Toyota Paseo, and like. He was a running back and like the offensive line. I think I remember correctly. He said something about like the offensive line in a game, not like blocking correctly for him or something.
Okay.
And that pissed off. We know how football is. Like the offensive line is the guys that like protect the quarterback.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of recognition until they make it to the NFL.
Right.
Basically.
So this one kid, he was this big dude. His name was Billy, right? Big motherfucker. Like he reminded me of the kid from Varsity Blues.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He almost like looked just like him, kind of, but just big.
Wasn't that kid's name Billy Bob? Maybe. It was Billy Bob.
Yeah, I know this kid's last name. I'm not gonna say because I don't want to fucking deal with that. So, anyways, he's big dude, right? Like he hears about it, and I remember when somebody hears about something in that, and then you're in school, it just spreads like wildfire that person's pissed off because the sporting thing spills into the school, but like you just hear about it.
Yeah.
So the next day, I remember seeing John walking down the hallway going to the principal's office with the teacher, and she's got his arm around him, and he's just crying. And we're like,
That's the running back, John.
Yeah, we're like,
hilarious.
What the fuck happened? What happened? Dude,
No.
at practice, while John was out on the field, Billy went to go, he's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. And he like left the practice and like went to the bathroom. John left his sunroof open in his car. This kid shit threw his sunroof all over his car, dude. And apparently, not just for the fluffing of the story, apparently it was very loose stool.
So that is bad, but also I don't know if I
Terrible.
would cry over that.
Bro, come.
In high school, I would be more angry. I don't think that would make me cry.
Let's just put this perspective
One
here.
a-hole kid.
You think about it though. You're 16 years old,
Sure.
right? I mean, John was a pretty privileged kid.
Yeah.
He had this is your first car. Okay, either your mom bought it for you or your dad bought it for you. He didn't buy it for himself. It was his prized possession. He had like the gold strips along the side. Like he put the extra work into the car.
Okay.
He loved this car, okay?
Yeah.
You love your first car. You're driving to school every day. You're showing off your car.
Yeah.
Right? You're kind of also like a little embarrassed that you probably said something and it got spread around school that fast. Then you leave to go home and there's just diarrhea all over your car.
That's pretty bad.
At a 16-year-old.
Still wouldn't make me cry.
I don't know, dude.
I would be angry and pissed, but I don't know.
I'd be
That's a
pretty
soft
upset.
life. That's a soft life right there. If someone shitting in your car is making you cry.
But how much of life have you seen up to that point?
I mean, 16, I feel like
Somebody shit in my
enough,
car
dude.
now, I'd want to kill somebody.
Yeah, I think I would just be furious.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Here's the other thing, too.
It's very fixable. You bring it to a detail and they get
the-
the smell of shit out in like a weekend.
Bro, I didn't see it. I heard it wasn't good.
You got
But the
you just for years after, like, God forbid they miss one speck.
years after,
It's gonna
I
smell.
graduated in 1999. That happened in 1997. I'm talking about it almost
It still smells.
talking about it 30 years
What's
later.
the Seinfeld? You bring the magazine into the bathroom. It's like you get.
Dude, for the rest of his existence, every time he pulled in the parking lot, we're like, oh, fucking shitty John's here.
Shitty John.
That's why they call the bathrooms John's now.
Oh my God. Oh boo. I'm
What was
canceling
your-
the episode.
What was your senior prank? Did you guys do senior pranks?
No, we did one like so. I went to a Catholic high school, so we all wore
Of course.
uniforms.
It's all adding up now.
And
You're like, we were molested.
dude, my brother.
They
has-
senior pranked us.
Dude, I'll tell a story about my brother after. It's one of my favorite stories.
Oh, wow, that's
but
a-
yeah, we the people would switch uniforms. Like guys, it would basically like being trans for the day was like our joke. It's like the girls would put on like the pants, the tie, and the shirt, and the guys would put on like the dress, the skirt, and the shirt.
Cross dressing.
Yeah, sure.
It's not like you got implants.
No,
for
we
the
were all trans for the day, and then you went back to your assigned gender at birth.
That's hilarious.
No,
ours was crazy. A lot of people got.
What
in
was
trouble
yours?
For ours. So, by the grace of God, because my mother will even say this to this day. She's like, I am so thankful that you.
Oh, you told me this.
Did I
I
tell
think
you
you
this
talked about this on an episode.
Maybe.
like 2 years ago. That you could tell it again. Then.
Yeah, by the grace of God that I was with my girlfriend and like
And
all
you
these
didn't get
kids-
involved.
I didn't get involved.
The one time.
The one time I didn't get involved. One fucking time I don't do something stupid because they didn't let any of those kids walk on
Wow.
graduation. Yeah. Because they broke into the school, if you've seen the episode before. They broke.
Yeah, it was what they broke into the school and put like porn photos.
So this is right when the internet started, which I love it because we were just talking.
Like today would be so easy.
We
to
were
do
just
that
talking
prank.
about AI,
Yeah.
and like we're like, oh, AI. People are always bitching about AI videos, but they're still funny. Like back then, this is like when someone first discovered Photoshop, which is supposed to be used for like cool things, and this kid's like, I'm gonna take the principal and vice principal's face and put it on porn pictures. And they went to Kinko's and printed up like 5,000 of them, broke into the school and put them in every locker. Some kid, what ended up happening, which got him fucked, is some kid threw a fire extinguisher through the main office square window and just threw, like, which was so dumb.
Stupid.
Why would you do that? The prank itself was funny, and they probably would have gotten in trouble for it as well. But to deface the
damage
property
like
like
that is
that, yeah,
bad.
it was stupid. One year, before we were there, because you hear the previous stories, one year they released crickets in the school.
That's pretty good.
And then another year.
That's bad, but that's a good one.
Another year, they had a bell tower at our school. They tried to steal the bell, but they got like arrested in the middle of it.
Damn.
Yeah. They did some bad shit at my high school, man.
What was the one? That was a episode of Seventh Heaven. I used to watch that show where they faced the school gymnasium.
You mean the new Buffalo Bills
Jessica
stadium?
Jessica Biel, dude. No, what happened?
Dude, the new Buffalo Bills stadium's almost complete. They're just like finishing the inside touches and stuff. Apparently,
Someone's defacing it already.
no. So you have to have a electric pass. Like the security there is insane. Like
Jesus.
you can't get into the stadium unless you can't get into the lot to get into the stadium.
Thanks, AI.
Unless you have all these things, right? So there was
It's like easier to fly
apparently
than get into the Buffalo Bills football stadium.
that hasn't opened yet. It's still under construction. Apparently, $150,000 worth of damage. Someone went in there and graffitied like all the new locker room stuff.
Wow.
Like
What'd they write?
Like anti
Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT.
Yeah, really. That probably would have got.
That would have gotten me
They probably
so amped
tore
up,
the
dude.
stadium down. No, it was like anti-LGBTQ stuff and just like a lot of hate messages,
That's
racist stuff.
Random.
It was.
That's random.
I know.
That's
It
so
was
random.
so weird.
Was there anything that prompted it, or like?
No, I keep seeing the article pop up on my feed because originally I'm from Buffalo, so I see the news stuff. And I'm just like, you know what it is they do? I'm not going to read the article because I don't want my whole feed to be that shit.
Sure.
So you see the article and it says, officials narrow it down to 2 things that were involved in the graffiti thing at the Buffalo Bills stadium. And I commented, I'm like, what, spray and paint? Like, what are the fucking 2 things? Like, just tell us who did it, okay?
Yeah.
Tell us who did it when you know. We know it happened. Tell us who did it. So I don't know. It's just people just.
It's random to do that, like with to be like targeting a group for like literally no reason at all. Like I could,
it's dumb.
not that I could, I was more asking like, was there something like if the Bills came out and they were like, hey guys, to honor the new stadium, we're going to do the first game is going to be our Pride night or something. And then people get mad about that.
I mean,
we're going to do, whatever night. And people are like, fuck that.
Yeah, but
you know?
I mean, I'm not making an excuse, but if I
If
I
there
had to
was
draw
like
the line of
something, if there was something that happened to like spark it,
right,
you could at least say, oh, I understand why, like, but if like out of the blue, it to do like specific, it seems
it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense
because
it doesn't connect to the Bills at all.
I've seen people comment on like, the Bills are all the players in the NFL are going to be wearing choose love on the back of their helmets, or the end zone says end racism, and you see people commenting like, thank God it says end racism in the end zone because I've been racist for 30 years and now I'm finally stopping.
I realized. Thank
yeah.
God.
But even though those jokes are funny and everything like that, and like is kind of like wear jeans to work on every day kind of thing, it still isn't like a excuse to go do that. That's insane to me.
Like if the graffiti was talking about how we built this new stadium and the Pats and the Bills can't make it to the Super Bowl with the best quarterback in the league, that I would understand. Fans hating on the Bills team and being like, fuck you guys keep losing in the AFC Championship game or earlier. I would get that. But to target it so randomly,
I would get that too, because I mean, as a Bills fan,
it has nothing to do with the Bills.
Right. They just went in there and sprayed, N-word and fucking anti-LGBTQ shit.
It's literally like it would be like going in and being like, I hate Italian food.
You think it's
that's
almost
the
like,
equivalent.
It's almost like a 13-year-old did it.
It could be.
But here's the thing, though. The thing that I know it couldn't be, because the stadium workers, apparently, they were like boasting about this, like when the stadium was under construction. At one point, I don't know if this is carried over to the interior part of the stadium, but the construction crew, like there was articles about it. There was like a mini documentary about it on YouTube, about how like almost all of the construction workers were Bills fans because they used locals to build the stadium. I remember being like, we built this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that's carried over into like the interior construction because now they're doing electrical.
So they think it was someone working there.
It had to be.
Did it. Because you can't get in.
You can't get in unless you work there. Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where the...
dude. But that inside job. And here on Troublemakers Pod, we know all about inside jobs. We talk about them quite a bit.
But that's the thing that makes you think, like, what's the fucking point? Why would they do that? What message are you trying to get across?
Yeah, they should have done...
Like, to the Buffalo Bills.
They should have done some Mahomes stuff, or like the Pats own you, and really fire the team up.
If it was a Pats fan,
fire the fan base up. Even a Bills fan as an inside job. Let's get a little fire under this team.
So I think when the stadium was under construction, and we're done with this fucking topic after this story.
Oh yeah, sure, dude. Just why don't you guide the pod
As I'm
from
wearing
here
my
on out?
fucking Bills hoodie, I should burn in the street. No, I'm just kidding. I guess during the construction of the stadium, if I remember correctly, someone tried to bury a jersey of an opposing team member underneath the seats during the concrete lay. I think I remember hearing about that, and they had to like dig it up or something.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad because that's like, you start saying it, and then it spreads. It goes, this is why it's a curse.
Yeah, but they got him out of there.
But it could be a reverse curse. It curses that team. The opposite team. You don't want that. That's some real. I would hate it.
They did it at the new Yankee Stadium.
What they
Someone
buried?
tried to bury a Red Sox jersey.
That's funny. I mean, it is funny, but it's like that would be.
I'd be like, who hired this guy?
Absolutely furious if like when they were building Citi Field, like someone tried to bury a Yankees hat. I would be like,
or a black cat.
That would really
that was the Cubs, right? The black
rile
cat.
me up. That was the
what was the black cat?
I think that was
the Cubs. Was the goat.
No, wasn't there a black cat like ran across the Cubs field or something like that?
I don't remember. It was some curse that they fucking.
I don't know. The White Sox. I feel like there was a black cat associated with that White Sox team that cheated.
No, that was the Black Sox scandal.
That's what. Yeah,
that was Arnold Rothstein who was involved in the gamble. He made them all,
dude.
Outside,
crazy
Shoeless
story,
Joe Jackson
dude.
got fucked for that.
Crazy story. I don't know. Because I remember digging into that. I did like an episode about that, like for another project. Yeah, I think he was involved. I think they were all involved. Yeah. And they all like either didn't take money, but were involved, but were like, maybe he didn't take money, but like I think they were all.
Well, the only movie that was really done about it was 8 Men Out, which sounds like a gay porno, ironically. And he wasn't even the focal point of the movie. It was. I can't remember his name. Whatever. DB Sweeney played Shoeless Joe, and he was the one that was they made that character in the background. But the only person that they really cared about in that era was Shoeless Joe, because he was the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
At the time, he was the one that was supposed to go, the greatest player on the team. But
and then people will be like, no, sports aren't rigged, and like no one. Yeah. And then you know what? That's my problem. They always talk about sports. It's so there's so much integrity and so much this, and then literally like every couple years there's some huge gambling scandal.
I look at it
this past year.
I look at it two different ways, and I think both things can be true. I look at it from your point of view as like in any sport, right? In any world, anybody watching this pod knows at least one person that has a massive gambling problem, right? So you take all the sports combined, right? Fuck the players, forget the players, but you have to include the players at some point. If you take all the referees in all the games, right? Not everybody has to know this, but you mean to tell me not one of those dudes has a gambling problem?
Yeah, no.
Not one of them.
It might not even be gambling. You're telling me that every single person involved, and they say,
isn't a fan?
There needs to be a massive cover-up. I always think that is like, how can you as a ref be so like dedicate your whole life to pursuing and getting a job in the NFL and not love football? And specifically not love one team,
right?
And then
sure.
Even if you're not, say you're a Jets fan, and they're actually good and they're in the hunt or whatever, and you're reffing a game, not even a Jets game, but you're reffing like
a game that has implications for the Jets.
And then you're thinking like, 3, 4, 5, 7 legs down. You're like, well, if this team wins, that helps my team that I root for get like there is going to be some internal bias that you don't even recognize,
Yeah, I agree. But okay, on the flip side though, because I always like to play devil's advocate. On the flip side, I hear people when it comes to odds like, this game, like, that's a half point. They got it down. Vegas always wins. They always know. It's like, okay, well, what you have to understand about Vegas odds is now, right? How insanely accurate now are algorithms, because that's all odds are, is an algorithm.
But it is also weird how Vegas is always so right.
Yes, because
and so close on everything.
Because computerized algorithms are so on point. Back in the day,
but we have those. Those are now accessible. Like you could run that with like ChatGPT,
of course,
like the same type of like algorithm and like AI predicting outcomes.
You can get it down just like they do, and I'm sure that you probably could if you were smart enough, or you had I'm sure people do. But think back like in the 50s and 60s, it was some person doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Much easier to beat.
Exactly. I highly doubt, and I don't know this for a fact, I would love somebody to look this up. What was the success rate for Vegas or, the odds back then as compared to now? It's got to be, I'm assuming it's got to be much closer now because the technology has narrowed it down to.
To be honest, though, now, too, especially, like, they don't even need, like, Vegas, now that, and I say Vegas as the general term for sports gambling, right?
Yeah, I got
like,
you.
sports gambling has become so mainstream and it's so accessible. Like, they don't even need to be as good as they are because they're going to now continue to have guys like me and you who will throw $10 on a 10-leg parlay because it's going to be like a lottery ticket. It's like $10 to win 10,000.
Yeah.
And I go, well, if I lose $10, who cares? It's
you have 100,000 people doing $10 bets.
Then you have 100,000 people
one day
throwing those at. It doesn't even matter if one of those hits, even if none of them hit.
Yeah.
You don't think there's a reason why they always pump like the fact that like one guy, there's a guy who's potentially going to win $500,000 on a $10 bet.
Yeah, of course.
Because then it's like, anybody can do this.
And you can.
Know?
I remember one time I went to, I don't like betting I don't bet ever. You know what I mean? But like if it's a game I'm not invested in, I'm just like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I remember
I have a good one.
It was a game the Bills lost. And I remember I wasn't confident that they were going to win. It was like, I can't remember what game it was.
You put money against them?
I did that. I did that once against the Saints because I thought that they were going to lose to the Saints at home. And I'm like, well, if I go to this game, I only lose $40 because
if they win, I'm happy.
But if they win, I make $500.
I make a lot of money.
Right. So I'll do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But one time I did a parlay. It was like $10 and then I boosted it and all 4 legs hit and I won like $527.
That's great.
And that was it. And it was like a fucking $40 bet. I didn't even
fun.
care.
That's so fun, dude.
Now to me, like even in my head, I'm like $40 is a little too much. I'll do 20. Like I did 20 on the Super Bowl and that's enough. These people that are betting like thousands and hoping that 5 legs hit, that's insane to me.
We hit one, my family and I, this Thanksgiving, dude. This was a bad year for me. My gambling was bad.
When you're paying attention to your year, you have a problem.
No, I don't have. I keep track. I lost like it was. I think I was down through the Super Bowl. I think I lost like $600. Like I was down, which isn't crazy if you split it over the course of 7 months, 8 months of gambling, where I'm just putting like 30, 40, $50 every weekend.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm winning some, losing some.
But you're tracking it.
And I'm tracking it to make sure because if I wasn't tracking it, the way it felt like I lost every fucking thing.
Could you imagine if you tracked your hangovers like you tracked gambling?
I should track my dating, dude.
I've gotten fucked up 25 times this year.
I mean,
and I only had 4 hangovers. I'm ahead.
I think
the house always wins.
In the last 12 months, I've probably had like, I'll put the line at 10, and I would say maybe just under like bone-breaking hangovers.
Bone-breaking
like weekend
like
ending
shaking
hangovers where you're just like, is this the one that kills me? is this the one I don't come back from?
I haven't had a hangover in fucking 10 plus years.
Okay.
So, but I do remember, like, sometimes you go watch a movie where someone like caught stealing, perfect example.
Sure.
That guy
where
had
he's
a
like
drinking
so
problem,
hungover
and he wakes,
like,
dude. I remember like we were watching it last night, and he woke up from something, and I'm like, ugh,
it makes you sick.
I'm like, I just can only imagine how that dude feels right now.
It's horrible.
Bro,
horrible.
There's nothing you can do. And everyone's like, dude, they have some greasy food. You're like, dude, I would rather get shot in the fucking head.
It makes you feel better for a minute, and then you're like, oh, now the food is messing me up.
Yeah, and then you can't even like. Everyone's like, I'm just gonna stay home and sleep. You don't sleep.
No,
you lay there like a patient.
Yeah.
Without being hooked up to anything.
Yeah,
dude. My one buddy, I don't know if they probably have him here. They used to get him I don't know if it's a place that just does it or
like a van will come and give you IV.
He would go. He would go get IVs when they were hungover.
We had
said, dude, it bounced me back immediately.
Former guest of the pod. I forget who it was because we've had a lot of like people who are now sober. He was talking about how he used to like when he was drinking and like doing drugs. He had like it was called like his his like hospital reboot, where he would be so hungover he would go to the hospital and he would get like the Zofran, he would get the hydration, and then he would come out and he would be like, "Whew, I'm ready to drink," and he would go and hit like a bar again. He would feel horrible.
Was just Oxycontin.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah. You're hungover, you're just popping Oxy,
dude.
All right, ready to go.
I don't know how like with painkillers, man. I thankfully never like dabbled with them.
Don't.
I know people have, but even when I had my surgery this year, they gave me a Percocet on my way out. The nurse is like, "Here, yeah, take it. You'll need it. You're going to be in pain." So I just took it. It was small. It was like a small one.
Sure.
She gave me a prescription. Yeah, it was. She gave me a prescription for like 6 of them. And I was like, she's like, only take them when you need them. I didn't take another one.
Smart.
But I took one on the way home. My one buddy who was addicted to Percocets, he was like, flush them down the toilet. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. Take them. I think they're like sitting at my parents' house somewhere.
Dude, when I had my shoulder surgery, I remember, like, because you know,
told them like no drugs.
I lived with Ray at the time. I had my shoulder surgery, and I told them no drugs. Right? I said, you know, they obviously like they could administer pain medicine to me for the surgery. That's different, right? Like,
don't give me a bunch of pills and a prescription.
So when I got home, they tell you like, okay, your script's going to be dropped off. Like, it's almost like Uber Eats for your medication. They come and they bring it to you. And they said, I remember when Ray picked me up, Ray's like, okay, we just put in this code and like, I'll answer the door. So I remember like Ray was like in the bathroom or something. And I like went and like opened the door, and the guy's like, oh, I have your script. And he gave me the script, and like, I put it on the table. I'm like looking at it, and they brought me like 30 fucking Vicodin.
Jeez.
And I'm like, I was pissed because I was like, dude, like I called the doc. I'm like, I told you guys I'm a recovering addict. Like, I didn't want opiates.
Yeah.
You know? And Ray's like, dude, I was like, Ray's like, bro, like, I'll hold on to him. Ray's like, give him to me.
I'll take him.
But, you know, like Ray like called my sister and was like, hey, they prescribed Brandon like opiates and where. My sister's like, he doesn't need them. Like, he'll be fine on Tylenol.
Yeah.
I was fine with Tylenol and Motrin.
Yeah.
You just
Did you flush him?
No, Ray has them. I think he's
allegedly
he's still got him, dude.
No, but dude, I took that one Percocet, and this is the craziest thing. I like didn't feel bad coming out of surgery. I took that Percocet on my way out, like they just gave it to me. I felt like fine for the rest of the night, and it didn't realize until the next day how like fucked up it made me.
Yeah.
For the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Post surgery, I was like, I guess on the way home, I remember it now. But I was like texting people. I had like a phone call with someone. And the next day I like woke up and I was texting a friend or something. And I was like, oh yeah, I had surgery, like this and that. And she was like, yeah, we talked on the phone last night for like 45 minutes. Dude, and I was like, I have no recollection of that.
I took a picture
at all.
I took a picture of myself after they gave me pills waiting. Because they gave you your medication and they make you wait.
I took a video and I posted it.
So you have to understand.
Show it to
so you have to understand that like I haven't taken pain medication in over 10 years.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've taken pain medication pre-surgery.
If you're watching, you can see it. He's going to hold it up. Hopefully it'll zoom. That's so funny, dude. Yeah, they were it was not pleasant. It was I would not mess with that. Not cool. But my one big bet that I hit this year, and it was great. It was fun. It like did what I wanted it to do. We're at Thanksgiving. I was like, hey, let's do a family pool. Like everyone throw in $10-$20, whatever, $10, and I'll pick a bunch of legs. Everybody else can pick one, and then we'll just, if it wins, everyone gets an equal share.
Yeah.
So I've literally been like busted my ass with parlays every week, just getting beat so bad.
Odds.
I know they are. They're a sucker's bet. As Ray would say, it's a sucker's bet, and you shouldn't do it. It's better to put $100 on a money line than it is to put $10 on a plus 1,000 and 7 legs have to hit.
Yeah, the parlays are more fun. But
yeah. So we end up hitting it, and it was like $70 to win like 1,000. And it was like, this is awesome. Except it was literally $10 to win 100, which was like fine. It really takes some wind out of your sails when you're like, oh yeah, oh fuck, I gotta split this 7 ways. Damn it, dude. That sucks.
That sucks.
Sucks, dude.
I always get.
But it was very fun.
I never like. obviously I know like terms of betting and stuff, but for a while, up until recently, my brain was like just completely shut off to like the not the lingo, just like the odds and like why an odd was a certain way. Almost like I just didn't want to know because I didn't want to get involved with that world.
Yeah.
Right. So it would always it still does in a way when you don't do it, but like when you're around people that gamble, that's how they talk. Right. They think gambling
instead of like the sports, it turns into
right. Like
it's like if you're around someone and all they talk about is the fantasy implications of the game.
Same idea. Exactly. Like I play fantasy just because it's like
it's fun and it's whatever.
League, it's fun. I'll see what happens. But when you're on and this guy's like, I'm in 6 leagues and this, and then you're talking.
I needed that.
What's your fantasy team's name? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like I'm watching the game today because I love the sport, right? I'm going to the baseball game because I love the Yankees. I'm hoping that they win the World Series this year. I don't give a fuck who's -6, who's plus 3.5. It doesn't even register in my mind that that's how things are working. So if you're telling me, yo, like, dude, what do you think of the Saints this week, dude? They're -2.5 in Houston. I'm like, I don't give a shit. The Saints suck. I hope that the fucking Texans win. That's like, funny. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair. My one buddy, this is what I was going to say earlier. My one buddy is like still mad at me like 2 years later because I made a ton of money on the Yankees losing to the Dodgers in the World Series.
How? Everybody knew that was going to happen.
It was that last game.
I was at
right on Halloween or the day before Halloween. I was at Ray's Halloween party.
I went to that game by myself.
That's crazy. And
$900 ticket.
I made money that whole playoff run. I made money. I put money on when like the Mets were down, I would put money on them to win the game.
Oh, you do that?
And it kept working, dude. I put $20. I think I threw like $40 on the Mets when they were playing the Brewers. And it was literally the at-bat before Pete Alonso's home run. Oh, yeah, and I put like $40 on them to win. I won like $600. And then it just kept working. And then like I put 3 separate bets on that Yankees-Dodgers game in that final closeout game where when they were down, and it was like, I'm going to put $50 on the Dodgers to win. And it was like 50 to win 300. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it again. They tied it, and then they went down again. Tied it, went down. It was 3 separate times, dude.
Highest
and
high,
I ended up winning
low.
like $1,200.
Yeah.
And my buddy, who is also a diehard Yankees fan, he still brings it up. He's like, my pain made you money. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I would have done it for anybody. I didn't care that it was the Yankees.
Yeah.
I did.
I find myself.
It was just like the cherry on top that it was the Yankees.
For me,
but it was still about the money, dude.
For me, anybody that's like, listen, I have my fandom is very split, right? Like, I'm a huge Yankee fan.
Yankees, Bills, Sabres.
Yankees, Bills,
Knicks.
Sabres, Knicks, right? So the Yankees are I don't care what anybody says about, like, I see it now because it's a new generation and they haven't won a World Series since 2009. So you see people being like,
God, what a nightmare that would be.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, people, like, I see Yankees fans being like, I can't believe, like, this team, man. Blah, blah. It's like, okay, bro, pump the fucking brakes here. As a Bills fan, as a Knicks fan, as a Sabres fan, I don't give a Yankee fans don't have a pot to piss in when they want to complain about. You don't know. So, like, I'll be like, listen, you're lucky. I'm lucky I saw the Yankees win as much as they won in the early 90s and early 2000s. Like, I'm blessed. It's the only team I love that ever won anything. To be the fan for you, I mean, the Mets won one in 86.
I wasn't alive.
You weren't?
No, 89 I was born.
I remember when they won the World Series in 86.
And to be honest, it's probably arguably maybe the greatest World Series.
Yeah, I would say
ever.
I would agree. It was
the Yankees Red Sox, the Yankees breaking the curse. The Yankees Red Sox was
the Red Sox breaking the curse.
Yeah, the Red Sox breaking the curse. That was the ALCS was the World Series of that, but it wasn't. Yeah. So you can't say that was the greatest World Series because the actual World Series wasn't a sweep. Wasn't a 4-0 against the Angels.
Yeah. The
Red Sox ended up winning. So, like, you can say that's the greatest ALCS of all time. Yeah. It's maybe the greatest playoff thing of all time.
The thing with baseball.
But the greatest World Series of all time is the 86 Mets.
I don't think it's hard to say. I wouldn't disagree with you.
Dude,
I would say arguably there's just so
read
many.
The Bad Guys 1. I gave it to Ray to read, and he loves it. And he's not a Mets fan. And it is fantastic, dude.
Listen, I'm a Yankee fan. I don't hate on the Mets at all.
Dude, it has all these behind the scenes stories of like when in the Game 6, they're in Shea Stadium, and across the jumbotron it says "Congratulations, Red Sox, 1986 World Series champions." It was because they were down to that last out. Yeah, and then it was like it started to run. Everybody in the stadium felt it. It like deflated everything. The Mets had to loan the champagne because the Red Sox didn't bring their own. Everything was taped off in the locker room. The trophies in the locker room. 1 out to go in the World Series.
I remember.
And they fucking clawed their way back, and they had an interview with the first base coach where he goes 4 or 5 guys in a row all go, "I'm not getting the last out in the World Series."
Yeah.
And it started the run through Buckner's legs. The rest is history. Okay, Game 7.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Crazy.
However, you're talking about 1986. Baseball has been around since the 1800s, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that I can pinpoint one thing. I mean, I remember I was 6 years old when that happened, so I don't remember all those stories. I'm sure there's books about it. However, I know that there's stories behind every World Series.
Yeah, that's fair.
That could be put in a book. So I would say arguably, yeah, it's probably one of the greatest World Series of all time. Because I've seen some World Series that were farts, dude. They were...
we some Super Bowls that are farts.
Oh, dude,
most recently,
like
this
no one gave
year,
a fuck when the Diamondbacks were in it. Like
no one cares.
No one gives a shit.
No one cares. What was it this year? It was Dodgers. See, this is how bad it was. I don't even remember the team that the Dodgers beat.
That they beat the fucking.
Exactly.
Oh God.
Exactly.
I know.
Nobody. If it's not
the
like
an AL team.
No idea.
Mariners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it was the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah,
that was a very good World Series, though.
That was. It was.
I would say if
going extra innings in the World Series like that.
If the Blue Jays, I will say this.
That is cool.
If the Blue Jays won that World Series, that would arguably be one of the greatest World Series ever, because the Dodgers are this giant monster that like just have changed the game. Right.
Well, they don't understand it. Is like, and a lot of my Yankee fans friends, I can now explain to them is like, this is what everybody, like the Dodgers right now is why everybody hated the Yankees through like the 90s into the 2000s.
Different. It's different.
Sure, you could say it's different, but it was that same thing.
You could
say they weren't
talent.
bought or whatever. I know the Yankees had homegrown talent, but it was the idea.
Talent,
it was Jeter, it was Pettit, it was Rivera,
and Bernie Williams.
Sure.
Like I'm saying,
they
would sign one giant free agent a year.
But there was that run of it didn't matter who was a free agent. It just was. It felt inevitable that they were going to the Yankees, and that's why everybody hated it. Now it's different because everybody can afford them.
Yeah,
but it feels like
the Mets do that now.
It feels like it's inevitable where every player now wants to just go to the Dodgers to ring chase. And that's why all fans just hate the Dodgers
I think it's
so much.
It's same idea, but different. Like
the baseball has become different, but it's still the same.
Yeah,
it's the same outcome.
I would and
frustration.
I'm not saying that you're arguing or I'm arguing with you about that, but I would shoot that argument down with every time, because like the Yankees' payroll, a lot of it was taken up with their homegrown players that they continued to pay, and then they would bring in one big free agent like A-Rod going to the fucking Red Sox and then changing his mind to go to the Yankees. Like, yeah, that was a big thing. And everyone's like,
Damon beating the Yankees and then going to the Yankees.
But that happened before when Wade Boggs would continuously lose to the Yankees. And then he continuously lose to the Yankees when he was the Red Sox. Then he went to the Yankees and won. You know what I mean? But think about all the years in the 80s. The Yankees stunk in the 80s when I was a kid. They were the Mets in the 80s. They stunk. The Mets were the better team.
Great, dude.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
not anymore. But
what the Dodgers are doing. I think the deferred contracts. If like let's get all these players in here and just kick the can down the road. I hope the CBA stops that.
I hope that when the time comes that they've literally sold what is it where like, you mortgage your future for the present? There's like a term for it, like cart before the horse, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
kick the can down the road.
Kick the can down the road. I'm hoping that this really comes around to bite them and they're not able to fix it, because this Ohtani contract is going to be crushing when it eventually comes due.
The other thing too, though,
like the guy, would they pay him $900 million or $600 million, and they're gonna, it's like $1 million a year for 10 years, and then like $580 million in a chunk. So like, dude, they're literally not gonna be able to have a team.
Kyle Tucker just got paid more than fucking Aaron Judge.
Yeah, it's crazy
To go to the Dodgers.
dude.
Here's the thing, though. I will say this as a devil's advocate. As a Yankee fan, I think a lot of people know, like being on the in and like seeing the history of the Yankees, like the Steinbrenner days of the Yankees are done. It's not. It's Yankee
Because baseball's changed.
Being a Yankee isn't what it used to be. Everyone like the evil they're not the evil empire anymore.
We still hate them.
Yeah, no, I understand that. The hate's different than reality, though, right?
Sure.
Like you can hate them because of the way that they were. You can hate them because they beat your team. You can hate them because you're the stepsister of them in the New York City.
Relax, dude.
But what I'm saying is
true New
that
Yorkers like the Mets.
to the way
The gabagools like the Yankees.
they're just not really. They're not the aura of that isn't there. I don't think players really want to go there anymore because I think that they come across boring a little bit. Like that,
I could see that.
The idea
it's not exciting. It's not fun.
The stadium. I have these season tickets.
Stadium stinks.
2 years and 3 years going season tickets. It's a boring stadium.
It stinks.
I love being there during the playoffs and stuff like that. But as far as just like, it's like a museum, and you're like,
it feels like a mall,
and you're like, all right, like. The team, other than Aaron Judge, is not really lovable. You know what I mean? They're just like they're guys that are good, but they're not good enough. They can't get over the hump, and you're just like, okay, like, and as the history of a Yankee fan, you're like, I feel that this should be this way, and it's not. And I'll tell you the reason why. Not to get too far into it, but when George Steinbrenner died, Brian Cashman, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. Because imagine being Brian Cashman coming into work every day and thinking that you're going to get fired for just no reason. Then the guy dies, and your buddy Hal is now the fucking owner. And now you're basically like the vice owner.
You're like, hey, have fun.
So
do whatever you want.
He can do whatever he wants without any consequence. And I'm not saying that he hasn't been a good GM, because he has. Look at all the championships he has. However, he doesn't have that fear anymore.
Yeah, you got to have fear. You got
to have that
There
fear.
has to be some, like, if I mess this up,
I'm fucked.
I'm gone.
Yep, he doesn't have that anymore.
And you go, I could take a swing, and
Yeah.
what's the
Or
worst case?
I don't have to take a swing.
I'll get it next year.
The Yankees are essentially running it back this year. They're running it back. They don't have anybody new.
That is crazy.
But do you know why?
Why?
Because next year there's going to be a strike. A
That's a
lot
good
of
point.
teams didn't do much.
Yeah.
They really did, outside of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But
That's fair. Dude, we're at an hour. You want to wrap?
yeah, we can wrap.
Dude, thank you for coming on.
Oh,
This will
always
be
good to
out
come on.
Wednesday. This will be out, Wednesday this week. So tell the people if you got anything, you want to plug anything, your Instagram and what you got going on.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, which is at Brandon Trusso, Facebook Brandon Trusso. Also, I just launched a Patreon, which is unedited clips. There's 3 tiers, so if you're looking to
OnlyFans.
if you're looking to support me and you want unedited material, just send me a message on my Instagram and I'll send you the link.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then shows every Friday and Saturday at the Pair on my website, BrandonTrussoComedy.com.
Hell yeah, dude. And you can follow me at Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and at Troublemakers on all those sites. New episodes are out every single Wednesday, and we'll see you next week with Dom. Good night.
Good night.